Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello and welcome. The topic of the session is entrepreneurial qualities. In the previous session, we have seen the traits that define a person with charisma or defines charisma. We have also discussed that a person of charisma is well accepted by everybody around them. Bill Clinton is referred to be a person of charisma, and he had his way even with the Republicans. So, if you are charismatic, you will have acceptance to your employees, to customers, to all other stakeholders. So, it makes sense to try to acquire some of the traits that is necessary to be charismatic. Experts have identified some traits that differentiate successful entrepreneurs from unsuccessful ones. So, in today's session, we are going to discuss some of the traits that experts have identified that define successful entrepreneurs. And then we will also discuss about the skills complementary skills that is necessary to be successful. Most importantly, many of the traits that we are going to discuss can be acquired. It looks kind of involving, like menacing, as if you need a lot of qualities to be successful, but then the fact is that one, you can actually acquire some of the traits. Number two, the team can have complementary skills, meaning someone may have some skills, someone may have others, and eventually you become winner. Normally we are surprised that some entrepreneurs are successful all the time. Whatever they do, they meet success, whereas there are some who normally struggle and then they don't go so far. They can go only so far, meaning they are not successful whatever they do. So, there is something inherent with them. So, that is why experts believe that there are some traits that differentiate successful entrepreneurs from unsuccessful. The successful one have the capability to identify opportunities in adversities, and they take action with confidence and optimism, and that is how perhaps they meet success. I repeat, many of these traits can be acquired, and that makes this lecture relevant. Here is a list, huge list, but the list is anything but comprehensive. Leadership qualities. It subsumes almost all qualities that is necessary to run a business, and subsumes all other qualities which are mentioned here. People skill, again, is a global term that has many of the other qualities under it. It is an umbrella term. Unique work style. It is observed that successful entrepreneurs have a very different work style. Empathy. They are empathetic to each and every stakeholders, including customers, employees, investors, and other suppliers. They are financially savvy, meaning that they have a grip on the financials and understanding about cash flow, profitability, investment, implication of their financial implication of each and every of the decisions. So, they normally take decision that eventually translates into profit. Prior entrepreneurial exposure, so they may have some kind of experience in working either in a startup or in a friend's startup, or maybe in some company as, say, corporate entrepreneur. So, they have a helicopter view about operation of an enterprise, and then they know what to expect moving forward and how to troubleshoot in a stressful situation. They are knowledge seeker. They don't waste time. They always try to seek new knowledge. They have a strong peer network, so whenever they need some help or they try to help others, eventually they create some wonderful peer network, so troubleshooting becomes easy for them. They remain surrounded by great people. There is a saying that your quality as an individual is defined by the people that you keep company with. Whenever you are mixing with people, there is every possibility that you will look upon them or try to emulate their personality, their way of decision making, their way of problem solving. Eventually you inculcate in you all of those qualities. So it's important that you are surrounded by great people. They're tenacious, they never give up, they always continue, they're experimental, they keep on doing experiment until they attain success. Tolerant to ambiguity, they're not afraid of conflict or confusing situation where there are everything is hazy or not very clear. So most of the people will try to avoid this kind of situation. They will prefer to opt for something which is very clear and easily understandable, whereas ambiguity and this unclear atmosphere actually provide opportunity for innovation. Majority of the innovations that happen in the past is out of ambiguity or conflicting situation, mutually conflicting situation. A positive view on constructive criticism. You criticize them, they immediately try to understand, they look inward and then see that whether they are really mistaken and whether there is another approach to to handle the situation. Readiness to delegate. They want to reduce their own work pressure by delegating to others, and in the process they multiply their capabilities. They are confident, they are disciplined, and they are self-starter. They don't wait for somebody to dictate. They are open to new ideas. Readiness to accept failure as an option. So if they fail, they try to fail forward, meaning that they try to learn from failure and then they rise up and restart. They are capable of selling. They are frugal in their approach, meaning that they know that there is always a more efficient way of doing anything. Efficient in terms of resources, in terms of money, in terms of cost, in terms of resource, in terms of manpower. So they are not complacent. They will always try to do it better and better and save resources and money. Their ability to manage money, meaning that they can ensure that a buck go a long way, meaning they try to do more out of less. They are reasonably passionate. Why reasonably? Because they are not obsessed about something. They do it passionately, do something passionately, but they have a clear idea as to how far to move forward. Then there is a point where they realize that even if we push further, this is not going to take us anywhere. So they will stop there and then pivot. That is very important. Pivoting is very important. They can cut further wastage of money, resources and time. So they are more successful because they can save money for starting all over again. They are self-motivated, they are systems thinker. Why so? Because a business is a part of a mega system and every business has subsystems. So unless someone understands the implication of their action into the subsystems or to the mega system of which the business is a part, then they may take some actions that may jeopardize the whole ecosystem and then it may take us nowhere. An eye for opportunities in adversities. Perhaps this point has been overemphasized again and again, but that only shows that this point is very important. Their honesty, integrity is unquestionable, very important. We have almost every day we read about entrepreneurs who adopted unfair means and they are besotted with legal cases or maybe they are behind bars. There are many stories. So it is very important that entrepreneurs are honest, their integrity is unquestionable. Only then they will move up. Another important point about this is that if they are not above board, there is every possibility that the message will percolate down to the bottom of the hierarchy of their organizations, and then they themselves will inculcate some kind of a culture which is not ethically sound, and eventually those people will cause harm to the entrepreneurs themselves. So, it is necessary that they send a message across the line of hierarchy that they are honest and their integrity is unquestionable, so that other people also become same and they try to safeguard the interest of the enterprise. They communicate effectively and can motivate all towards common goal. If you cannot communicate effectively, people will remain confused and they will not know which direction to move. Whereas communicate effectively, everybody knows what are being expected out of them, they will perform. Everybody is capable and their capability will be maximum if they are clear about what are expected out of them. They inspire others while taking responsibility, giving credit for good performance. If something goes wrong, they will identify why it went wrong. If they realize that they are at fault, the basic principle or basic premises were wrong, they will immediately take responsibility. Of course, if somebody is wrong, they will censure them, but if somebody has to get some credit, they will go above board and then they will try to appreciate them more, so that they are enthusiastic, they get inspired to do better, so that they get better credit, they are better appreciated. They set their mission, work passionately and they are committed to achieve their goals. They take the challenge head on and do not give excuses. They educate and delegate their juniors, meaning they try to make sure that the juniors are capable, gradually gain the capability to replace them, so that at some point of time they can take full responsibility and entrepreneurs can do entrepreneurs' job. So, they have the trust, they train them and they start building trust on them, so that they can perform. They are creative, they are innovative, they are charismatic. And people skill also includes founders have to be able to communicate their vision to all. Shared vision is very important, as we mentioned earlier as well. So, if everybody is on board to a shared vision, they know what is our long term goal that we are trying to achieve or go to, then everybody will align their objectives, their aspirations in the same line, and then eventually it will be easy for the enterprise to achieve the vision. Their ability to lead, get people invested in their ideas. Whatever the idea is, if you can communicate effectively and if you can make other people look the vision clearly, then people will invest in your ideas, and then they will think that enterprise is our enterprise, so they will aspire for doing good to the enterprise. Success of a business rests on many pillars. Pillars are the people, and one must communicate with confidence, give them sense of win and create an environment of optimism, and then everybody will perform to the best of their capabilities. Elements of people skill, just in a tabulated manner: leadership, persuasion, influence, network building, ability to excite people by vision. All these have been discussed. A strong ethical and governance standard, abide by the laws of the land and respect ownership of others, meaning that you don't infringe on others' property, be it intellectual property or physical property. You respect people's ownership on particular property. Don't try to copy anybody illegally. So, that makes you a wonderful leader, and that should be part of your work style. Goal oriented, comfortable with uncertainty, that is ambiguity, self challenging. Entrepreneurs or leaders have some hypothesis, but then they challenge their own hypothesis. Time and again they will revisit them, whether the hypothesis per se was right. Suppose you presume that something is right, then you try to do that and see you achieve something, but then that may be 90% okay. So, you challenge yourself to get 95%. So, they always challenge themselves. Solitary, don't like working for others, they are their own boss. They rarely are complacent and they cannot sit still. So, they are always in the lookout for something new and something cutting edge, something that will put them ahead of others. They are driven by plan, and they are always prepared. The experimental mindset. They keep on doing experiment. They are never frustrated if something is not happening. They will do more experiment. And we have seen Dyson has made 5,000 plus prototypes before he met with success. He was an ordinary mechanic in some company, but with experiment and experiment, now his personal net worth is about $10 billion. His company net worth is much beyond that. So, it is experimentalism that gave Thomas Alva Edison the success that he achieved. Their perseverance, perseverance in the face of adversity. They will keep on trying and trying. They will never be tired. Tendency to continuously look for better, because they know that there is no best solution. There is always a scope for improvement. They can close a deal efficiently. They are inclined to listen to others and take their advice. Of course, they will make judgment whether the advice is right or wrong. They strive to feel the pain that they aim to solve. Meaning they are empathetic. They try to empathize with the customer. Even before starting the business, they will try to feel the pain by empathizing, and then develop a product, and then get it evaluated, validated by the customer, and then again further they will try to empathize with their pain and refine the product. They engage with customer to understand how their product is matching. They believe that customers are always right. So, whatever the customer is demanding, they will always try to match that, rather than trying to educate the customer that they are not right and they should be satisfied with whatever is being offered. They are empathetic even with customers, with suppliers, with every stakeholders. They try to feel their pain, and then accordingly they try to modify their own approach, their own action with all of them, so that everybody is happy. They try to align the company objectives with that of employees, with that of suppliers, and then it becomes a win-win for all of them. They make employees feel as if the company belongs to them, so that they work wholeheartedly and they give their best. Empathizing with customer can never be overemphasized. How do you empathize? You understand their pain. No matter how groundbreaking an idea or product is, unless a customer is willing to pay for the product and service, there is no business. I have been trying to emphasize that over and over again. So, it's most important that we try to empathize with the customers and try to know their pain and try to match a solution with the pain, so that it alleviates the pain as completely as possible. Only then we will have a superior value proposition compared to the competitors. The hallmark of success for long surviving companies is customer satisfaction and growing a loyal and repeat customers, so that they come again and again, and you have wonderful growth, and customer don't desert them. So, your customer acquisition cost goes down. They are comfortable with finance, have clear understanding of cash flow, and they know when the cash flow is going to be negative. So, they will prepare ahead in time to raise new money or to cut corner and save money, so that the situation of a negative cash flow never actually occur. So, they can avoid that kind of situation when the company will not be able to move forward. They understand bottom line, understand the burn rate, profit, everything that is related to financial performance of the company. They are comfortable with financial governance, meaning they will never ever try to cheat the government, or they will never try to do something that is against the logical or right governance for running a business. They will not try to make a shortcut on anything. Those who are incapable of managing money, they surely fail. It has always been proven time and again. They have an internal locus of control. Internal locus of control means that they don't trust on luck. They don't blame God or his luck. They try to create a future that they envision for themselves. They always think that I can do whatever I would like to be in the future, that I aspire to. So they will try to take actions, they will formulate a vision for themselves, and then they will create a mission as to how to attain that vision. They will formulate their strategies, and eventually they will execute that to attain that. They will not blame employees or some luck or something anywhere. They may be spiritual, doesn't mean that they are not spiritual, but their actions will look like they are agnostic, meaning God is at God's place, but they will do whatever they would like to do, and they will take the responsibility if this does not happen the way they desire. Some prior work experience, as I said, is necessary, whether you work in some startup or a friend's startup, or you are a profit center head. What is necessary is a global view of an enterprise, or helicopter view, meaning a view from the top, meaning how all the units of a business are interconnected. One action is reacting to other, meaning how each of your action is how each of your action is manifesting in the performance of all the other departments. That helps, and most importantly, you understand what kind of challenges that are going to come up and how to do the troubleshooting before the challenges are coming. So that makes things easier. So that is why some experience actually helps. Taking or borrowing a phrase from the statements by Donald Rumsfeld, the earlier US Defense Secretary, he says that there are known knowns, meaning that you know that something is going to happen and you are taking action. Whether something negative is going to happen, you are taking preemptive actions. There are known unknowns. You know that something may go haywire, so you try to take action so that it doesn't go. But most importantly, there are unknown unknowns, meaning that you do not know what may go wrong, and then you have to do firefighting. In startup, this is definitely the matter of reality. This definitely happens. So you have to remain prepared that something may go haywire that I may not be able to predict. So remain with all the wherewithal to find that kind of a situation. Burning desire for learning, knowledge seeker. We have seen that, or we will see moving forward, that most of the successful entrepreneurs were always knowledge seeker. Dhirubhai Ambani is a wonderful example. In the next session, you will see how Dhirubhai tried to learn. He spent every minute in a positive manner by learning new technique, and he learned everything possible, everything that was necessary to run whatever business he started. It may not be possible to learn everything, or it may not be possible to be best in everything, but try to learn that and then try to show as if you know at least something, so that people cannot cheat you. Successful entrepreneurs have a passion to learn constantly. They understand the value of a strong peer network. In this startup world, things are always uncertain, and some help from somebody in the same domain or in a relative domain may go a long way. Some help from somebody. So like somebody can actually recommend you to an investor. This recommending somebody by somebody and not recommending by anybody makes a hell of a difference. If somebody makes a recommendation, almost 50% of the war is won. If somebody doesn't recommend, almost you start from zero. So you have to walk that 50%, and then only you come up to a level of acceptance, or level where investors will be willing to talk to you. You can do all these just by a word of mouth or a telephone call. So peer network is always necessary, not only for investment, but for anything, any part of the business, any activity of the business. They are surrounded by great people, so that is also part of the network. They are tenacious, they never tire, they keep on trying and trying, they are experimental, meaning they do experiment repeatedly because there is no best solution, there is always a better solution. These leaders meticulously plan ahead, adjust themselves quickly to changing scenarios, adapt to market responses. Business at times goes through very high highs, meaning that you have everything going right, very low lows, meaning that suddenly everything is at the nadir and you feel frustrated. But if you are tenacious, you have wonderful team, then you have support system, meaning somebody who is going to hold your hand and tell you that nothing to worry about. You always have a chance to win. They are tolerant to ambiguity and uncertainties. We started by saying this: entrepreneurs set their goals and are committed and convicted to reach them. They also inspire others to follow them, but they are not afraid of conflicting situation, uncertainties or ambiguities. They, in fact, they are okay with that, because out of ambiguity, out of uncertainties comes wonderful solutions that other people will not even try. So that is how they will identify opportunities in them. Their readiness and ability to face both at-ons in the face of great uncertainty is the tolerance and for ambiguity that sets an entrepreneur apart from the rest. Their readiness to accept failure as an option and learn from every failure, acknowledge mistakes and learn from them is one of the best qualities of successful entrepreneurs, and that also differentiate between the successful from the unsuccessful. They are mindful that things may not always manifest the best of ways, and they are ready to accept failure and restart with that knowledge. They do not sit back ruminating what will happen if I do this, what will happen if I do that. They will press into action, do it themselves, learn from failures and restart, or maybe they will become successful. They can make a sale, they can close a deal. So they have the capability, they will have the best interest of the other party in mind, and eventually they are flexible, so they have a unique capability of closing a deal, whatever that is. They are frugal. They never think that there is a best way of doing something. That is, they think that there is always a better way of doing something, always a better way of cutting corners, saving money and making it, producing something at a lower cost, or giving something with a better features. They are reasonably passionate, they know when to pivot, they are not obsessed with something. So they will passionately pursue something, but they will know that we have hit a wall and there is no point wasting resources, time and other things, human capital and all that. So they will restart after evaluation as to what went wrong. Consider Jack Ma. Jack Ma was rejected in 30 job interviews, but he started his business when most people said, you must be crazy to start an internet business. But then he was passionate that I will do it and I will make it a success, and Alibaba today is more than $500 billion company. In fact, many of his employees are billionaires. Many of the partners are obviously billionaires. Many of the investors are multi-billionaires today. They are self-motivated. They don't wait for somebody to guide them. Of course, they take guidance, but then they are self-motivated. They don't expect opportunity to come and hit them. If opportunities are moving in front of them, they will immediately identify them. They will not wait, okay, opportunity will come and tell me, something like that. Many people actually cannot notice the opportunity even if they are part of the opportunity. Many a times what happens with us, we are besotted with a problem. We are not able to find a solution, but we don't look at it that okay, this is an opportunity, because I am not finding a solution, there is no solution in the horizon. That gives an opportunity that I should do it and create a solution, so other people will be benefited, they will have a solution. Funish of Red Bus had a problem. He was not getting a bus ticket because he realized that most of the buses are booked, or maybe many of the buses went without being completely occupied. So he developed a solution called Red Bus, and that helped many people, and he became a wealthier person, and many people were happier. So self-motivated people actually identify opportunity and they make many people happy. In the process, they create wealth for themselves. Delegation is very important. If you do not feel confident on others, you will never be able to delegate. You have to empower them, educate them, and then at some point of time you have to entrust them with responsibility. That way you will release your time, resources, and you will be able to multiply your capability. You will be able to do something more important. So delegation is very important to be successful. Effective time management. Prioritize your task. There are many books on time management. There are many blogs also. If you manage your time well, obviously you multiply your capability, your output. Seeking help from others. There should be no ego about taking help from others, because a small solution, a small advice from others may actually create or help so much that a 6 months job is, you might be struggling for 6 months for something, whereas somebody tells you, somebody gives you some hint, and you can complete the work in 1 week rather than struggling for 6 months. So seeking help is very important. They are self-disciplined. Entrepreneurs are not indisciplined. Most of the people think that they look like indisciplined, but they have discipline, they are well planned, and that is how they can achieve success. Otherwise they will not achieve success. They are systems thinkers. They know implication of their action on other subsystems or mega systems. So if the implication is negative, they will not take that action, or they will refine their actions so that they are not doing something negative. All components in a system interact with each and every other component. So you should be mindful as to what impact it is going to manifest on other subsystem, so that you take the right action, so that there is a synergy between all the subsystems. Persistence and perseverance. It can never be overemphasized. Persistence is the iron quality of a character. Persistence is to the character what carbon is to steel. Carbon adds strength to the steel. Persistence adds characteristic to a person to be more strong in all the aspects of entrepreneurship. Inculcating persistence should be of priority. You tell your subconscious that I want to be persistent, then automatically your subconscious will help you to be persistent. They are decisive and action oriented. So they decide what to make, they can make clear decision, and then they will take action. They will not dilly-dally, they will take immediate action. They are experimental. They are circumspective. They have a 360-degree view. Some circular means they can see all around them, so that whatever may actually happen, they have a fair idea that about their strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threat, and then they take stock of the situation through this circumspection. They are confident in their actions and are not undecided. They inspire others with their confidence, and everybody becomes follower. Best promoter of their business, meaning they know their business. So when talking to external agent, whether customer or investor, they are the people who can really speak for the company, because they have clear insight. So they themselves can talk about their company. They also empower others to talk about them by educating them. They are risk takers. They are not risk lovers. They are risk takers, meaning that they understand adversity, they understand the risk, but they also understand that they can work around and alleviate the risk. So they will take the risk, but they will come up with the solutions that other will not even try to venture into, and then become winner. Some concluding remarks. The founding team should preferably consist of more than one members, number one. Number two, there should be complementarity among the skills. Then most important, the last part, aspiring entrepreneurs need to adopt some of these traits or maybe many of these traits and make as many of them a part of their personality as possible to achieve success. With that, we come to the end of this session, some references and a few concluding remarks. Most important to note that many of these qualities or traits can be learned. So, try to learn as many of them, inculcate in you. Thank you very much.